and LM Communications broadcasting station. The only no-filter sports show in Kentucky. It's the Alan Cutler Show with award-winning TV sportscaster Alan Cutler.
Alan, I hate to say you're right, but when you're right, you're right. And this is something you're right about.
I bump into someone every day that's talking about they hear me on the show with you, or they've just started listening and love it.
You are a truth sayer. I've said that about you your whole life. You hold no punches back.
Suffer. You want to be great, gotta suffer.
You and I, we've always had a really healthy respect for each other, and I respect what you do.
My goal on TV was to bring a smile to everybody's face.
Hello, Mark. Mr. Pope, 1996.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Hey, let's give it up right here. This is my guy. Yes. I'm so happy to see you.
Hey, gratitude is a skill, guys. But if you practice, it will give you a joyful life regardless of your circumstances.
He got him to chase the fastball, and he strikes him out. 8 strikeouts for Skeens.
3 receivers left, 1 out to the right. The receiver to the right is Chase. Here's a short pass, caught by Tanner Hudson, lunging toward the goal line. Yeah. Touchdown! Nice. Bengals! Burrow waiting for the shotgun snap, 2-by-2 formation. Looks left, throws left, caught by Chase, escapes a tackle, racing down the sideline. Touchdown! Nice. Bengals! Jamar Chase picking up where he left off last year when he led the NFL with 17 touchdowns.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Bengals look wonderful last night, but it's preseason, and Burrow played a little bit longer than he had in some other years, as they want to get a fast start this year. So Burrow and Chase were wonderful. It's preseason. I don't give reds. I just don't want anybody to get hurt. I can't get excited about preseason after 14 years in the booth and how boring preseason is to you and to me and to everyone. I got to tell you, if I'm Philly, Hurts didn't play last night, I wouldn't play him at all in the preseason. And if they say he's a little rusty in game 1, I don't care. Really, I mean, I don't care. I don't want him to get hit. Why does he need to get hit? He's got the big ring. He's one of the great quarterbacks, no question about it. They're not worried about starting fast. They shouldn't. It's Philadelphia. The difference is it's I wouldn't play him a single solitary down. And before the end of the first quarter, in his first game, he'll be just fine. Good afternoon. I'm Alan Cutler. Honored and pleased that you're spending some time with me, with us, whether it's live now or tonight via podcast or live anywhere in the world on the ESPN Sports Lexington app. I want to say thank you to all the people who filled out these little books. You're laughing. Did I say something bad? Did I slip?
No, I'm sorry. We're just on Zoom, and your laptop or something is open in front of you, and it's concealing your entire self, so you're just a floating head.
Oh, really? Oh, I've been called worse, but you know, it doesn't look that way. Okay, I will move it now, and how is this?
Yeah, now I see all of you.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah. Put it back.
You interrupted me for that?
Sorry.
It's all good. Sean in control because Jimmy's at the dentist. Wish him the best. Wish him the best. So, look, it's preseason. That's nice. That's nice. It's fine. I'll admit it. I had the whole game on, and I watched when Burrow was in, and then the rest of the time, unless there was a really good play that they had to replay, good enough to replay, and a lot of them weren't good enough to replay, but they replayed them anyway, then I kind of looked up most of the time. That's it. It's okay. And as far as the Reds and Skeens, he's unbelievable. Everybody should find somewhere online the workout video that he does. I mean, things from his toes to whatever. He is religious and relentless about his workouts, and that's one of the reasons why I think he has a possibility of being very lucky about not getting injured, because what he does for his entire body. I know what I would do. If I'm the Reds, I would take that workout and say, fellas, guess what? Everybody in the organization is going to do this. Everybody top to bottom. Now, you can't do the amount that he does, but I'd have everybody do it. He's a big, strong man, and his workouts amplify it. By the way, in the history of baseball, since before Sean was born in 1901, Now, I saw one to 1913, but Jimmy came up with this one from 1901 to get 5 innings, at least 5 of scoreless, plus at least 5 of strikeouts, and at least 1 or fewer walks in 4 straight home games of the season. Since 1901, this is the second time it's been done. He's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. And if he had any run support, you know, his ERA since he started in baseball, his under 2, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And if there was one game this year I would want to take a road trip for, it would have been to watch him last night. Just that aroma of seeing him. And if you get lucky enough to sit right behind home plate. I got to sit behind home plate. I also got to sit in the upper deck. Well, we snuck down for behind home plate with Nolan Ryan when he was in his heyday. And Sean, let me tell you something. In the upper deck, you could hear the pop of the catcher's mitt. It's the only time I've ever heard a pitcher that you could hear the pop in the catcher's mitt in the upper deck because he was just different. Just different. It's just the way it is. Okay. I opened today with a heavy heart. For those of you who have been listening to the show for quite some time, which I say thank you, I think it was the second time. So Kenny Rice is great. And as I've said many times, and it's worth repeating because we have new listeners all the time, so forgive me as I say I've said many times, that the beauty for me on the show, there's a couple beauties, but the number one beauty is actually relationships. I've never been closer to Kenny. You know, when we competed against each other, I respect him, but you know, you go to a press conference, and boom, I'd go back, and he was single, and I was married. I went home. I don't know what he did. It was all good. We didn't go out and hang out or anything like that. I didn't hang out with anybody. Actually, when people thought I was wild and crazy, I was going home. 1,000% of the time? No, just about. Absolutely. So if somebody says, I saw you out in 1984. Well, you're probably right. You didn't see me out much. I guarantee you that. Neither here nor there. And so I think it was the second time I invited Kenny on. We had a great conversation. He said, do you mind if I bring my dad? Well, I had met his dad, not a ton of times, but one of the beauties about meeting his dad the first time was at the Sweet 16. And Kenny and Rags had gone to the Sweet 16 together, I don't know how many years in a row. And they have great seats, and it's kind of like stopping by and say hi. And Kenny yelled at me forever ago, hey, meet my dad, whatever, friendly conversation. I walked away saying, what a nice man. And to be blunt about it, and I've told this to Kenny, that I was jealous of his beautiful relationship with his father. This was like decades ago. And Rags has been living with Kenny for quite some time. And so Rags shows up. And then after the second time that Kenny was on, I invited him again, whatever it was, 3-4 weeks later. And I said, you can't come without Rags because we love Rags. And by the way, some of the stories he told, wasn't Joe Nuxhall, Sean, 16 years old or 15 when he first pitched in the major leagues in the 1940s? It was 15 or 16.
I think he was 15.
Okay. Whichever one it is, that was a big tidbit story forever. And Sean, do me a favor, look up the year and interrupt me when you get the year. It was a long time ago, but guess what? Rags was at the game. And through the course of time, you got it, Sean?
10, 1944.
1940.
15 years, 316 days.
So in 1944, Sean, I don't know if you know the story, and Rags told it on the air, and I'm just like mesmerized. This is when we were doing the show in the studio, and Kenny's looking at me and just nodding his head. He was at that game. And he missed a few Sweet 16s. Let me emphasize a few outside of his time in the service. Let me emphasize again a few. He was there all the time, and he had so many friends. Well, I don't know, after Kenny and Rags doing the show, I think Rags said, hey, why don't we all go out to have lunch? And Rags said, bring your wife. And so it sort of was a friendly love affair. And if Kenny's listening, I bet he's nodding his head. He's got more important things to do between Judy and Rags. I mean, they had a bond that was so crazy. Sean, there were times when we'd eat lunch on a Saturday, and he would tell me and Kenny, you know, you guys can go get another table so I can just hang with Judy. And by the way, many times, and Kenny and I would just laugh. And then Judy found out the obvious that he likes chocolate chip cookies. So she would bake chocolate chip cookies and became a standing joke. And then Kenny would swear to me he was serious. That we'd walk in the restaurant and Sean Judy would have a really nice box of homemade chocolate chip cookies, which I wasn't allowed to have any. And I can't have any. Although the last time I did, and that's another story, had to be full. So we're sitting at the restaurant and Judy gives him the first time. He literally takes it and moves it away from Kenny. He says, you can't have one. And Kenny told me later in the week, he says, Dad wouldn't let me have one. So after a couple times of Judy making cookies, she literally put it in like a Ziploc, some cookies so that Kenny could have a separate stash, but it was nothing in comparison to the size of Rags. And we used to laugh about it. About, oh man, Sean, if I lose it, you're going to have to just go to a break.
Yep.
About 3 weeks ago, Kenny's kept me up to date on what's been going on with Rags for the last month or two, and I obviously wasn't going to talk about it on the air. About 3 weeks ago, Rags wasn't doing real well, so I don't remember if we texted her on the phone, whatever it was. They said, hey, Judy'd love to make some chocolate chip cookies. Great. So she made them, and I text Kenny the next day, I think it was, and nothing. And then it was a day or two later, he said, don't bother delivering the cookies. This is a few weeks ago. So, obviously, 96 years old. And when he started doing the show, Sean, I don't know if you said it or Jimmy said it. It was amazing how sharp his mind was. Crazy. The stuff he remembered and just sharp. And there'd be sometimes he'd be doing the show with us. He would tell Minnie and Kenny to shut up on the air because he didn't get a chance to talk enough. I mean, it was just spectacular. So for some odd reason yesterday, and I don't know why, and Sean, tell me if this is eerie. Look, I know Rags has been really bad for weeks. And for some reason, I tease the show in many different ways. And one of the pictures I do, I just for some reason went to a picture of Kenny, Rags, and me when he was in the studio and put it up. And then I got a text late in the day yesterday that we lost Rags. I thought it was kind of eerie that for some reason I wanted to take a picture of the three of us in the 1300 studio with smiling and stuff like that. So I got to tell you, I'm mad because he promised me the scoop, an exclusive interview when he was 100 years old to do the show with me. I wonder what Lynn thinks about that. That means I'll be doing the show for 4 more years. Do you think he just pulled his hair out, Sean?
Possibly.
Possibly. Numbers keep on going up. Maybe he'll be happy. Hope he's happy now. Anyway, so we lost Rags. And it's amazing how many people knew him and loved him. And we said, I love you to each other a number of times. He would say it to Judy first, by the way, Sean.
Well, yeah. I mean, not to belittle Rags, but so would anybody.
Yeah, that's true. There was one time we're eating lunch and we're saying goodbye and all that kind of stuff. And he turns to Judy, I love you. And Kenny looks at me with a look and go, what about me? And I went, what about me? And Rags just shakes his head. Rags, I love you. And for those who listen to the show, how about something else? Kenny told me there were a couple times they were out shopping. And obviously, I think a lot of people still recognize Kenny from NBC Sports for over 25 years, the great work he's done. And also, you got to be old, but no disrespect. But, Kenny was on Channel 36 1,000 years ago and has a lot of friends and is popular. But more than multiple times, and I'm not saying a ton, Sean, Kenny told me that in a store, people would come up to Rags, not say hi to Kenny, would come up to Rags and say, hey, I heard you on Cutler's show, which he loved, by the way. Anyway, 96 years old. We lost him. And then later today, I mentioned this the other day, we lost Chuck Perry. Sean, I would guess you probably didn't meet Chuck Perry because you weren't on Baseline covering games and stuff, but I figured you probably know the name. And
I do know the name, but I never met the man.
You know what? And I should have had him on the show. Not that the show is so important based upon we just lost him, but a very, 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 very strong Christian, everybody's friend, loved Kentucky, a photographer, traveled at times with missions and stuff with Kentucky and other things. And he battled, and there are going to be a lot of people at Perry's visitation and Rag's visitations, Chuck Perry had a lot of friends in the media. He was everybody's friend. And there were a couple times he knew I was really ticked off about something. And he and Doug Flynn's father, both caught me a couple times when Sean, in the days when I used to get really mad. And I'm usually almost always right, but then again, my application wasn't always good. You will agree with that, Sean, won't you?
Yeah, I mean, the application part, sure.
I shouldn't have set you up. Where both he and in different times come over and say, hey, calm down, or occasionally come over and hand me this goofy picture he took of me when I was on press row. So I know it's 12:16 and I'm spending some time on some people that mean a lot to me, but I think there's a lot of people who know Kenny Rice and a lot of people who know Rags, and it's just what I wanted to do. So anyway, thoughts and prayers, count your blessings, and I'm so glad that we said I love you to each other many times, even before the very end. And the last one is about 3 weeks ago. We're on the phone. Rags, Duty, and I, and Kenny was obviously listening, and he said he just wanted to have one more lunch with us on a Saturday. And his voice was weak, and we all knew it wasn't going to happen. And it was tough. It was tough. It was very tough. I tell you what, I can't go into a rant right now. I just can't do it. So let's take an early break, and then we'll finish up the monologue. Terry Page, Terry Page. Not a good, not a very good, as you've heard me say, seems like 1,000 times, a great licensed massage therapist. She's helped me not a little. She has helped me tremendously. And her big, beautiful deal, it's going on till August 29th. It might be extended. I don't know yet, but if you book an appointment now, you get $5 off. Schedule a next couple appointments before you leave. So she tells me now, next couple appointments, and you'll get $10 off. First couple days a week in Butler, Kentucky. Rest of the week here in town. And she's helped my knee tremendously and my legs because of something called fascia. If you're old, I guess you understand that. Sean, you haven't probably had fascia when your muscles kind of mess up and stuff like that, and she kind of moves it apart. It's not fun, but I got to tell you what, you can feel the blood circulation, and I walked better leaving yesterday. I'm not kidding you. Terry Page, check her out, 859-373-0578, 859-373-0578. Rest in peace, Rags. Rest in peace, Chuck Perry. Wonderful, 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 beautiful human beings. Alan Cutler. Oh, let me at least set up the show at 12:30. Van Hiles at 1 o'clock. Jonathan Davis have a lot of really good football sound to play. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
The Alan Cutler Show on ESPN 92.5 and 1300 AM and on the ESPN Lexington app. Presented by Republic Bank.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no-filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313, 859-381-1313. Lexington, it's time to feel the warmth and spread the love in a brand new Subaru from Quattro Subaru. This is Alan Cutler, and you can feel good about working with the Quattro family for your next Subaru because not only do we get the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks, but for decades, the Quattro family of dealerships has donated to over 50 local charities and events. So, play as hard as you work, go where you've never been, and keep it local at Quattro Subaru. QuattroSubaru.com.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hi, this is Patrick DiGiacomo, and this is why I would recommend Republic Bank. So, when the bank manager brought me over just to show me how their ITM works, he hit this button where an actual live person came on the screen. and she was so kind and helpful, and it just made me feel like, wow, I'm not dealing with just a machine, I'm dealing with somebody that's actually paying attention to what I'm doing, and it made me feel really good.
And that's how Republic Bank helps their customers go from living to thriving. Learn more at republicbank.com. Member FDIC.
It's summertime, and that means it's time to hit the road.
Whether you're heading across town or across the state, going on a picnic, to a baseball game, or driving to the lake, stop by, fill up, and stock up at Clark's Pump and Shop, your road trip headquarters.
Clark's Pump and Shop has everything you need to get you to your summertime destination, including assorted Jolly Rancher or Twizzler peg bags, 2 for $5, and Jack Link's 2-ounce steak strip or extra large beef and cheese, 2 for $6.
Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel.
Matthew and Jimmy, Alan Cutler, and Brad Taylor. We ain't much to look at, but who cares? It's radio, local and live Monday to Friday, 10 to 3. Get the ESPN Lexington app. Just search ESPN Sports Lexington in your app store. Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
Alex has played much better. I feel like Alex is much more comfortable than he was a year ago, moving from outside to inside. So I think it's, really starting to come together for him. He's starting to put things together. He's played, well throughout camp. Then you got Antoine Smith, another really talented young player, starting to, come into his own. Tremendous athlete, learning how to play, at this level is takes a little bit of time, but really, he may be one of the most improved players from the spring into where we're at right now. So, been happy with him, Grant Gottfried, and then Landon Watson. So we have 5 guys that, we'll lean on throughout the course of the year, and, we're going to need all 5 at some point. We've gone through 4 linebackers the last 2 years. I think we split almost 50-50 with the 1s and the 2s. So
that's Mike Stoops, linebacker coach. Remember, he was the head coach. He was the coordinator, and he's quietly been inside the linebacker coach here for quite some time with his brother. I think he's a hell of a coach, and he doesn't get much pub. And actually was really surprised he did an interview. I don't know if he's ever said no or he's not asked. I'm not sure. But you haven't heard from him much. And I think Kentucky's lucky to have him. Forget the nepotism that he and his brother. He's a hell of a coach. And so he was talking about Alex Afari. Welcome back, Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM, who, started out as a basically safety. And about a month ago, Stoops said when they looked at him in high school, he thought he'd make a nice cornerback. Well, he's grown and whatever. He's got like 0 body fat. He's about 227 pounds. I'm going to guess he's probably going to be the lightest middle linebacker in the Southeastern Conference. So there's good and bad. He's tough. He's really smart. He's strong for his size, but can he take the pounding? And I'm excited to watch him play. I think he's got that it factor. And I actually think he's a potential NFL player, even at his size at some position. I actually could see him playing a huge, strong safety in the NFL. But the question is, can he handle the pounding? And I like what Mike Stoops was saying, that he's going to play the 1s and 2s a lot. Now, one of the themes on defense is Brad White talking about how they're going to use more players. Well, Stoops has been using more players because, 1, you don't want to burn guys out, and 2, the talent in a lot of years hasn't been so extreme from 1 to 2. Some years it is. So I'm looking forward to that. And he says all his linebackers are intelligent and some are a little small. And that's what they're dealing with. They're absolutely unequivocally dealing with. Let's play clip number 2. And so the guys that aren't the biggest, he's basically saying they have good speed. Here is Mike Stoops.
The game is much more sideline to sideline, so you need that athleticism. It's extremely difficult to find a guy that can be big, fast, physical, and still play in space. So there's, each player has their own strengths and weaknesses, and within their own game, they have to tailor it around what what those are. And I think our players understand, how to play, what style of game each one plays. And if you're not as athletic as somebody else, you better get yourself in position, and you better be faster getting there. And, you got to be able to compensate, different ways like that.
It's kind of interesting with the talking season in full force. I'm guilty of this, and I'm good with it, that I'm so much more excited now about the upcoming season than I was about a month ago. And the bottom line is, I keep on saying, I think the running backs will be tons better. I think the offensive line will be much better. Will it be much, much, much better or good enough to equal the big blue wall from years ago? I have no clue. They're going to have to show us. But as much as Big Pete keeps on getting all the pub, I keep on saying not only is that deserved, but, Josh Braun is 6'6", 342. And he says all the right things. Was a 4-star out of high school. He transferred from Arkansas. He started 24 games for Arkansas over the last 2 years. And he's played 50 games and has 31 starts. He's an NFL prospect, okay? NFL prospect. He's been second-team All-SEC, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic. And by the way, I heard Pick, my buddy Jeff Picoro, this morning with Tom Leach. And he, come on, I love Pick, and he's really positive. He played football at UK, and he's on the very, very positive side. And he said, look, if they can beat Ole Miss, you can talk about doing a bowl game. I went, whoa. And if that happens, there'll be fans screaming, I told you so, I knew it all along, and that kind of stuff, which I think is always kind of funny because where are you now? I'm telling you, I have no idea. But you know what? If they win the first 2 games, they've got a great shot at the bowl game. They really do. Really do. I'm going to do a couple tidbit things before we take another break and then go to Van Hiles. I love this. There's a Saban Center that just is opening up for kids in Alabama. And Nick said it was a dream of Miss Terry, which is, as I think everybody knows, he calls his wife. And he donated $5 million. And you can say, well, he's got a lot of money. He's got tons. How much? I don't have any idea. And you can say he's got the money, he can give it. But I always stand by this. There's a lot of people who have a lot of money who don't give a lot of money. And he's putting money where his mouth is and helping kids out. And he thinks that's an investment in the future. And I just think it's not good. I think it's spectacular. Pat Kelsey. He kind of admitted that the reason why the Kentucky-Louisville game is so early, it's kind of Louisville's fault. And it's interesting, Pope kind of said it was kind of Louisville's fault as well. And the schedule still isn't out yet, but I wonder how many games will be put before the Louisville game. Because they got 3 games left. That stuff isn't out. It isn't out. Fun moment from TV on ESPN. Jameis Winston, who really has totally turned his life around years ago. And so they were doing a thing in practice. This stuff happens all the time. If somebody does X, or let's say somebody kicks a 50-yard field goal, either practice will be shorter, or you won't do walkthroughs at night. Stuff like that's been going on forever. So he said, look, you got 4 quarterbacks. If one of them, and I don't know how far it was, it looked like it was 40, 50 yards. If one of you guys can hit the crossbar, there's no walkthrough tonight. So Jameis Winston went first. And before he throws the ball, he says, hey, guys, don't forget about Bible study at 3:30. I thought that was interesting. And religion has become a huge part of his life. He's really a totally changed human being from Florida State. Totally changed. And I'm a fan of his, by the way. I just wish he threw fewer interceptions. He's a leader. I think he's a great man. And you watch a person grow and develop. So the last thing he says was, Bible study at 3:30. And then he flips the ball and hits the crossbar, and everybody goes crazy. Who doesn't love any player who makes sure they don't have to do a walkthrough at night? I mean, you're popular. A quick tidbit about volleyball, and then we're going to go to a break. UK in the latest poll preseason is ranked 7th nationally, which shouldn't surprise anybody. As great as the program has been under Skinner, Texas is apparently deemed better in preseason stuff. They are number 5. It should be another great year of volleyball. And you know what? We need to do a few more things with volleyball. We've done a couple of interviews. Brooklyn DeLay has been on. Coach has been on. Skinner. I'm going to try to get them both back over the next few weeks because, they deserve the pub. And the truth is, it's been really good radio the couple times we've done it. I think we've done it 3 times. And so selfishly, I want good radio. And if it's good radio and offbeat sport, to me, that is a beautiful thing. I'll tell you what is a beautiful thing. If you need a car, go down to Quantrill. That's the Quantrill Auto Group. That's Quantrill Volvo. That's Quantrill Cadillac. That's Quantrill Subaru. And one of the things they do, which I love, for decades, the Quantrill family of dealerships has donated to over 50 local charities and events. Check them out. We own 2 cars for them over the past decade. I trust them. They've treated us great. Fast, friendly service if you take your car in. And their experienced finance team works hard to approve more buyers, including those with bad credit, good credit, bad credit. Check them out. Take advantage of their subprime financing and find your next vehicle today. The Quantrill Auto Group. Check them out. Say, hey, Cutler was talking about you on the Alan Cutler Show on 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrill Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment? Hit the text line 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
Have a sprain, joints hurt, took a fall, had a sports injury. Now you don't have to wait for expert orthopedic care when you need it the most. Lexington Clinic's OrthoGo walk-in clinic is truly a walk-in without any appointment necessary, with extended hours of 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday. OrthoGo is located at 1207 South Broadway, Lexington. Expert orthopedic care when you need it. Only at Lexington Clinic's OrthoGo walk-in clinic. Fast, convenient, and quality care.
Hi, this is Patrick DiGiacomo, and this is why I would recommend Republic Bank. So, when the bank manager brought me over just to show me how their ITM works, he hit this button where an actual live person came on the screen, and she was so kind and helpful, and it just made me feel like, wow, I'm not dealing with just a machine, I'm dealing with somebody that's actually paying attention to what I'm doing, and it made me feel really good.
And that's how Republic Bank helps their customers go from living to thriving. Learn more at republicbank.com. Member FDIC.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Lexington, it's time to feel the warmth and spread the love in a brand new Subaru from Quantrill Subaru. This is Alan Cutler, and you can feel good about working with the Quantrill family through your next Subaru, because not only do we get the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks, but for decades, the Quantrill family of dealerships has donated to over 50 local charities and events. So, play as hard as you work, go where you've never been, and keep it local at Quantrill Subaru. QuantrillSubaru.com.
It's summertime, and that means it's time to hit the road. Whether you're heading across town or across the state, going on a picnic, to a baseball game, or driving to the lake, stop by, fill up, and stock up at Clark's Pump and Shop, your road trip headquarters.
Clark's Pep and Shop has everything you need to get you to your summertime destination, including assorted Milky Way, Snickers, or Twix share-sized candy bars, 2 for $4, and Combos 5-ounce bags, 2 for $5.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
ESPN 92.5 and 1300. Live and local. Weekdays from 10 to 3. Get the ESPN Lexington app. Just search ESPN Sports Lexington in your app store. Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google. Monday through Friday.
I just want to showcase everything that I can do, you know what I'm saying, that I haven't shown, in the past years, but I do have the abilities to do.
What does that look like?
I mean, the season is here, so we get to see it.
That is Kendrick Law, that I think every Kentucky football fan is excited to see. Many think he'll be not only by far the best returner on the team, but the best wideout on the team. We shall see. Let's say hello to our friend Van Hiles, former Studley DB for the University of Kentucky. Van, how are you, brother?
You know what, Mr. Cutler, I'm not doing well. Couple of things off the top of my chest. First of all, where's Jimmy? I'm sure he's on vacation. He's
No. Jimmy's at the dentist, and I hope there's no pliers involved.
Oh my goodness. Second thing, Mr. Cutler, you started this new little intro. because you didn't want me to bust your chops before we go on air. I understand what you're doing now. You
No,
got
no.
this whole YouTube thing trying to minimize my action before the show comes on, so I won't bust your chops. Okay, got it.
Are you done? I'm going to tell you why you're wrong.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. And Sean will back me up. And you have to know, Sean, of everybody in LM Communications, would want to rip me over anybody else because we go back over 25 years. So if Sean defends me, it's so legitimate, it's not even funny. In the commercial breaks, I can't even talk to Sean or Jimmy anymore. We have to text because we're on YouTube. Therefore, there can be no communication. So what would happen is, as like Van is kind enough to do the show, it's usually fun talking to Van, but he wants to bust my chops first. We'll say hi to each other. And sometimes some of the funniest things happen in the break before.
Right.
So Van, I shouldn't say this, but I really understand why you felt that way. I really do. But you're 1,000% wrong. And so we just played a Kendrick Law soundbite, right? I couldn't tell Jimmy. I had to text him to please play it. And then I text you that we were going to play it. So right now, I'm waiting. I want to hear it loud. I want to hear you say it proud. I want to hear it clear. I want you to apologize, Van Hal, because you're a real man and you will admit when you're wrong.
Sean, I'm sorry for getting on you about Jimmy not being there. That's the only apology I'm going to give out.
That's okay. Let me give you the real dope as to why you couldn't talk to him during the commercials.
That's what you told me. I didn't make this up.
This was all concocted by Jimmy and me because Jimmy didn't want to talk to him during the commercials anymore. So it's all a ploy.
That totally makes sense. Totally makes sense.
And you want to know what? I believe it. Actually, hey, let me tell you something. What Sean is telling you, that Sean and Jimmy got two whammies out of this. One, we really can't talk in the break. And two, they're not unhappy that I have to text. Sean, would you say that's accurate?
I would say that's very accurate.
And on Zoom, I hope people can see the big smile on not only Sean's face, but Van says, hey, Sean, real quick. We don't push this. We just started doing it. But if you want to watch this show on YouTube live, it is.
Oh, wow. Well, you caught me off guard for that. You can just search YouTube for ESPN Sports Radio 1300.
There you go. That's all you have to put in. I thought we'd have some good rhythm there. Sorry for giving you some credit. Van Hiles. How are you, dude?
I'm good. I always take us off. I go on a tangent. But Kendrick Law, let me give you some information.
Please.
Guess what great state Kendrick Law is from?
Obviously the great state of Louisiana.
Hey, guess what? That kid was a stud in high school. And
by the way, do you know him? I knew he's from Louisiana, but I didn't know if you had ties, honestly.
No, he's from Arkansas South. He's from Arkansas, basically. We don't call Shreveport area Louisiana, that's Arkansas South. So
he's from hold it. Why?
Once you get to Alexandria, probably, it's two different states. Monroe, Shreveport, Ruston, all those cities up north, the weather's different, the people are a little different, the food is a little different. They have a big influence from, that's an inside joke. We call them Arkansas South, us Southerners.
Okay, but it sounds like you people down there are sensitive, like in other parts of the country. Let's move on.
Of course.
Yeah, you're sensitive. It's okay. You can be sensitive. I don't want to turn
this.
Huh?
He's a stud. He is. It's something. You know what? I'm gonna say something that's a hot take. He is another Lynn Bowden.
Ooh.
He has. Look, I know the word is people finally hearing when he gets the ball in his hand. Seriously, this kid is a athlete. And when it's like Lynn Bowden, when they made him quarterback and he was able to touch the ball on every snap, the game was different. Get the ball in this guy's hands and he's going to do some special things. Now, I'm not sure if he's on the level of Lynn Bowden on this level yet. He hasn't shown it yet, but he has those abilities. He's built like him a little bit, and he's electric when he gets that ball in his hand.
Wow. Now, I read something else into the soundbite where he talks about he wants to showcase some of the things he hasn't showcased before. That, to me, is a little shot. I'm not going to say it's a great shot. It is a little shot from his playing days at Alabama. Now, maybe it's because of all the talented people around him. That could be. I ain't chilling for Alabama. You know that, but it's their job to take the most talented people and use it. He really thought that he wasn't used properly at Alabama. That's what he just said. I'm not trying to start crap. I am telling you that's what he said. He wants to showcase because he hasn't been able to. So that's a shot. Now I'll go one step further. I don't know this. Okay, I'm telling you straight out, I don't know this. But the first time I heard that soundbite, I wondered if he would have left Alabama if he thought he could continue to showcase his abilities. I wonder if he could have showcased his abilities, in his opinion, Alabama would have given him more money, so he never would have come here. These are all legitimate questions. And you're pondering. This is really good for why you should be on YouTube, because I've never seen you pondering like that. You have an Abe Lincoln pondering look about you. You almost have an Abe Lincoln beard. You got to shave the mustache.
Yay.
And you would have a really cool Abe Lincoln beard. The point is this. I feel and sense a little frustration in this kid, like a lot of players do, that he hasn't been able to do his own thing yet. Yet it's interesting that he believes he will be able to do his thing here. And if that's true from what you said in that comparison to Lynn Bowden, wow.
Yeah, timing is everything. And going to the right place for your skill set is everything. So they lost Saban. That's a problem. He wasn't getting much run with Saban. Now when you bring in a new coach, that new coach, I'm going to just be honest with players when you listen to me when I say this. And this is a tough thing to hear and to acknowledge. When a new coach comes in, and if you were not good enough to play for the previous coach, you're probably not good enough to play for me. I don't care how talented you are. If you don't get on the field for the previous coach, you're probably not going to get on the field for me, because I'm going to bring in the guys that I trust. And this sport trust is essential. So for him, I think Kendrick's little issue is his ability to be a route running receiver. And that is something Lynn Bowden had an issue with. Lynn Bowden is not your quintessential route runner, like a Wandale, like a Craig Yeast, like some other guys, like a Stevie Johnson, like true route runners. And if your wide receiving coach requires you to be a true route runner, you're probably not going to play as much as you want, even though you might be better than the guy in front of you.
Okay, hang on a second. You brought up a great point here. Is that why Lynn Bowden didn't make it? Because I was always amazed, and I was wrong. I thought I'm not saying he was going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame or something like that, but I thought he'd be, with his size, a really, really good number 3 receiver and an electric punt returner and kick returner, and a guy who could, maybe throw the ball on an end around or those kinds of things. I really thought he'd play in the NFL, because I was absolutely convinced how important. This. Everybody says football is important. Well, that's nice, but it's BS. There are some people where it's more important. I really believe for Lynn Bowden, it was amazingly important. I thought it was part of his drive. I thought it was part of his persona. I thought it was part of his makeup. And he's a bust in the NFL. I'm not calling him a bust as a person, but he's a bust in the NFL based upon his abilities. And I've wondered if he freestyled. He freelanced when he was playing quarterback at Kentucky. He was like jazz music with a football in his hands, because not only did the offensive line know what the hell he was going to do, he didn't know what he was going to do. And that's a very unique, special talent. And it was amazing how quickly he got cut. He got cut awful fast. Guys that are, drafted that high up don't usually get cut that quickly. So usually there's an issue there. And I don't know what it is. I'm not saying it was anything bad I don't know. But I can tell you this, I know from doing the Bengals for 14 years on the Bengals radio network, you don't cut somebody drafted that high that quickly when you have money invested. So I always wondered if he freelanced too much, and there are coaches that try to get through him, and he couldn't stop freelancing. They say, we don't want to put up with this stuff. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you this. This is what I believe, and this is what happens to a lot of really good football players when they get in the NFL. You go to the wrong situation with the wrong team, with the wrong coach for your skill set. If Lynn Bowden goes to Kansas City Chiefs, he might be still playing. I'll just tell you a quick story about a guy whom I played with at the Bears. And if you want to really dig, you can find out who this guy is. This guy played at LSU and was a really good safety. I'm going to tell you right now, he was the best safety on our team. He did not play. And it's unfortunate because his skill set didn't match what some coaches wanted him to play like. But when the starter got hurt and when he had to play, he played better than the starter. But the starter was a veteran that had trust within the ranks of the coaches, and he played in front of this guy, and this guy was a stud. I'll give you another one. There's a guy whom I played against.
No. Don't make me do the research. Just let me know who it was. Come on.
Anthony Marshall.
Interesting. Okay.
There's a guy played for Denny Green. Robert Tate. Robert Tate played at the University of Cincinnati when I was in school, 95, 6, 7, whatever. Robert Tate was not a really good receiver in my estimation. He was good, but when you talk about NFL, he was not on that level. The Vikings drafted him. He did not pan out. Denny Green loved the kid. Guess what Denny Green did? Have you ever heard of NFL a guy moving from wide receiver to cornerback? Because Denny Green loved him.
When you're in the league, that's a rare thing.
He didn't play corner in college. He's not Travis Hunter.
Okay, no, okay. So he didn't even play corner. No, that's crazy.
But that's the thing, right? You get into a situation where you do things where coaches are human. He pulled Denny Green's heartstrings somehow. Denny Green wanted to keep him on the team. He put him on the other side of the ball. And he actually played a few years for the Vikings as a corner.
Huh. Okay, get me back to Bowden, though. Let's circle back because the audience doesn't know who that guy is.
Lynn did not play in a situation where the coaches felt like we're going to do everything possible to keep you in this league because we think you are a talented player. Lynn Bowden is the best, in my opinion, the best football player we have had at Kentucky since '93.
Whoa!
Football player.
Whoa.
Football player. Not talent, not best receiver, running back. He is the best football player we have had. Lynn Bowden could have played corner, could have played safety. You saw him play quarterback. That means he could have played running back. He played receiver. There's no skill position that he couldn't play. That kid was unbelievable. But now when you get into the NFL, you better have a niche skill set. And he didn't have a niche skill set. And that is why he probably didn't stick around as long as he should have.
Don't you think it's the job of a coach? Because when they're scouting kids to go to the NFL, don't you think a coach should have seen that, wait a second. This kid hasn't been used right. We could use him. I find that, I'm not disputing what you're saying, that there's a lot of kids who don't make in the NFL. And one of my pet peeves is Andre Woodson. Andre Woodson, I saw his last preseason game. He was with the Giants. He looked nervous. He was jittery. He wasn't the same kid at Kentucky. He's throwing the third and fourth stringers. The offensive line really sucked. His passing was way off. And I kind of thought you need to sit on him for a couple of years, let him get comfortable with the system, because if you look at what he could do at college, sometimes guys need time. They just need a little time to calm down. Sean, when you get it, let me know if you can pull it. I want to play a Ray Davis soundbite with the Bills, which amplifies what we're talking about. Sean can't find it yet. I thought it was in the system. No big deal, Sean. Let me know. We played it yesterday. But the point is this. Ray Davis was nervous last year. He admitted it. Ray Davis wasn't comfortable last year. Yet Ray Davis had, really, if you think about it, he had a hell of a rookie year, even though he wasn't comfortable. And now after talking to the coach, and he says how much more comfortable he is, I expect him to explode. I'm not talking NFL Hall of Fame or something like that. And he's got the Cook guy ahead of him, although he walked out of camp because he's making $15 million a year, and he doesn't like $15 million a year, right? And he wants a new contract and surprise the Bills. So he's going to get more clock. Even if if the Cook thing works out as their running back, he's still going to get a lot of clock. There's no question about it. Sean Fowler, I want to play this bite, and this is exactly what you are talking about with young people, and I'm telling you, I really believe this. This is where coaches stink. Coaches can do wonderful things. It's your job to see that someone has potential and nurse it out of them, or say, you know what? This kid had all kinds of potential. It didn't work here. Let's find out why, and let's see if we can calm this guy down, that maybe we can have a player. And I think there's too many young people who have a lot of talent, not just Kentucky kids. There's guys in Alabama that fall through the cracks. It just happens, who, because of the mental makeup, and I'm not saying they're mental midgets. No, it's the adjustment from college, big-time college, to the NFL that you need a little more time. I don't know if you heard this soundbite. I want to play this soundbite, and then I want you to react. This is Ray Davis with the Buffalo Bills.
Feel more comfortable running the scheme. I think as a rookie last year, I was just so timid. I was worried about making mistakes. I just wanted to be perfect. And, it took a couple conversations with Skip just to, understand, hey, you're here. You proved what you need to prove. Now just slow it down and play football. And when he told me that in the spring, I kind of brought that to camp. And, I can say I feel a lot more comfortable in the run schemes and the pass schemes, picking up blitzes. So all around, just feel like it definitely, from year one to year two, was a huge jump.
I think that's a beautiful soundbite. I think you could put in Van Hiles. You could put in dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of rookies every single year into that slot. Now, with the Bills, his talent allowed him to play good enough that he displayed really good things. But mentally speaking, and you think about Ray Davis, oh my God, he was homeless and what he had to do for all those years. But football's so important to him, he was not comfortable, and actually thought he'd be one of the guys who would be comfortable quickly because he's been through so much trauma and terrible things in his life, but it took him time too. That soundbite personifies so many people who don't make it because they can't figure it out, and it also personifies so many people who make it in year two because they finally calm down. They finally realize it's football. They finally realize what they can do.
That soundbite is awesome for many reasons. One thing is to have the support of the people that are in suits is huge. Not just the coaches, but the people in suits. It's huge. So that confidence and second, that I have the ability to be here. That doesn't happen often, and that is a problem. Here's the thing about the NFL that is just like college, but it's worse than college, because in college you have 4 years. Is every season there's a thing called the NFL draft. These coaches feel like they don't have time to devote time for you to help your fundamentals or improve your fundamentals, because I can get a guy next year who's just as good or better than you are. So why am I going to devote too much time into you with something that you should have already come to me with a skill set? So therefore, if you go to the right program or the right organization where they cultivate talent, those are the guys that you see last a long time. If you go to an organization that's been a perennial loser, they're cheap, they don't treat their players well, those are the ones. If you are, for example, Lynn went to the Raiders. The worst spot in the world for him. The worst. There's nothing about that organization since the 80s that breeds confidence in me as a player, or if I was an agent for him, I'd be like, can we find another place? And him going there was the worst thing that could have happened to him for many reasons. And the thing that it shows, he has talent, because he's not, when he got cut, he bounced around a little bit. That's a good thing. The problem is, once you bounce around, teams have players, their coaches, like I've said before, have created bonds with players already on the team that might have been a undrafted free agent. They're going to have him be above you because I know who that guy is. The NFL is rough, man. There are a lot of guys that should have played 5, 6, 7 years that only played 2 because of where they went.
It's a great comment. I'm going to harp on the first part. The Bills, as you know, Van Hiles, former Studley DB for Kentucky, who had a cup of coffee in the NFL with the Chicago Bears. The Bills are known for being really good with people. The Bills are known for nurturing people. The Bills are well known for saying, okay, you'll be much better in year 2 because we've seen this movie before. The Bills trust their judgment when they pick people. Thurman Thomas, the great running back before your time, Apparently, it was on the. I need to watch it on HBO. They're doing the Bills this year and that kind of stuff. Apparently, he told the general manager. He said, "Hey, that Hairston man, you can really pick him." And so that's why when the assistant general manager of the Bills went to the Giants, I was so happy because I figured he was part of the process and he'd be really good. And he's not really good with the Giants because it's pretty obvious the number one guy in the Bills. It's the reason why he's the number one guy, and they have a system in place in Buffalo that's really, 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 really good. But that speaks volumes about they are patient. They saw what Ray Davis is. They love Ray Davis as a person. The community in Buffalo took to him right away as he told his story. It became very popular. Buffalo's a big, small town, as you know.
Yeah.
Buffalo's not a big city. It's a big, small town. And by the way, that's not a knock. It's a compliment. It's just what they are. You know, how many places in the NFL, there's a few that when there's too much snow, they ask for volunteers and people just come down on their own to shovel out the stadium so they can play and they don't even pay them.
It's Green Bay or the Northeast. It's Green Bay or the Northeast.
Yeah, Green Bay and Buffalo, the two cities who would do that. And so they are so good with people. They say, look, it's like a big corporation that their thing is if they keep people and they pay them a little more money, enough so they don't leave because they're ticked off what they make, they save a fortune in having to keep on retraining people and retraining people and retraining people. A lot of big companies who aren't very good lose a ton of money because they have to spend a fortune training people. Well, it's the same thing on a different level with the NFL. You've invested a lot of money in Ray Davis, okay? Not like you invested hundreds of millions, but you've invested money in Ray Davis and a lot of people like that. And they're saying, wait a second, Ray's a great kid, which he is. Ray's a hard worker, which he is. They quickly saw Ray studies the playbook, which quietly is a big thing. And it's like, okay, we've seen this movie before. Gee, he makes guys miss. Can't teach that. He makes you miss. And he's tougher than you know what. But he's not there yet. So they had patience with him. And I love it. As a matter of fact, it's interesting. You got 3 Kentucky kids there. And I got to tell you, anytime a Kentucky kid goes to Buffalo, seriously, I'm really happy. 1, they see toughness. 2, any kid that goes to Buffalo from Kentucky, it's not just because it's Kentucky, but they're going to get a really good shot. They will spend time looking at you. And so I was ecstatic. The 3 guys are in Buffalo. And guess what? They like them all.
Yeah, it is because I've had a buddy who played at Buffalo for a long time, and he talks highly of Buffalo. So it's like I said, it's like Green Bay a little bit, although the citizens don't own parts of the organization, but they act like they do. The support in that city for that organization is humongous. It's like Pittsburgh. It's like Green Bay. It's like Kansas City. Like there are certain organizations where the people within the city really gravitate towards those organizations. Those organizations are the ones that maintain supreme talent and good records year in and year out. And when you have the ones that don't, you know the ones. One of them is New Orleans Saints. I can speak for those, where it's hit or miss. And it's unfortunate that some players go to situations where they're not treated the way they should be as talent. And I'm sure there's reports. I know there are reports of the Players Union where they give their top ranked programs and what the resources there are rewarded. And I guarantee you the top 10 is always the top 10. Maybe we rearrange a little bit with the place in the rankings. And that says a lot about certain organizations and how they are ran.
We didn't really get to talk about Kentucky. If you have time, well,
we're going 10-2, Mr. Cutler. I'm joking.
We're going to put that in the open on Monday.
No, put that.
And that's going to be in the open on Monday. What do you think? Before we say goodbye, what do you think they're really going to do?
Look, I am really leaning towards 7-5 now. I feel like 6-6, but I'm really leaning 7-5. When you really look, this is the hardest thing to do as fans, and I would say this, for our program history, we are the best fans in the country because the support has always been there. This team has a chance because if you go look at other teams and stop looking at us, some other teams have issues too. Some issues that we as fans don't address and don't look at. South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee with a new quarterback, losing Dylan Sampson, Louisiana product again. Those teams are gonna suffer a little bit. The Auburns, if we can win those games, if we can beat Vandy, Ole Miss, and not beat all of them, we can win probably 2 or 3 of the Vandy, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Auburn. It can be a good season. You win 2 of those, you have 5 wins, right? And we always win a game that we shouldn't. So that puts you at 6. And if you have momentum, that South Carolina game, I'm telling you, that South Carolina game, I want fans to go look back at the South Carolina game the first half, and it'll be shocking to you what the score at halftime was.
I don't remember, so educate me.
I think it was like 10-6.
I knew it was close, but I don't remember.
It was close.
Yeah.
And the wheels fell off.
Yeah, it did.
So I want y'all to understand.
It wasn't a flat tire, it was a blowout.
No. I think the axle got rusted and just fell. It was bad. But there were games, and I'll say this and I'll get off, because this is the game that bothers me and it hits me to the core now. The Vandy game. We had the ball, 2-minute drill. We had a 3rd and like 6 or something. Brock throws too hard a ball to Demi across the middle. He would have got a first down. Vandy scores a touchdown right before half with seconds left on the clock.
Yep.
If Dane Key doesn't fumble, that's a field goal. And if we don't do that, that's a 10, 14-point swing.
I'm way over. Real quick, if Bo Allen got to play in some games last year when they were desperate, would Kentucky have won a couple more games?
No.
Wow.
Would he have played better? Yes. But when Cutler started playing, those guys already checked out. That little game.
No. I'm talking about before Cutler.
Oh.
Before Cutler.
Yes.
Wait a second. Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Let me stop for a second.
Okay.
One, that was a great comment on your part that the guys had checked out because they quit against Louisville. That's one.
Oh, for sure.
Two, I'm talking about before, earlier when Brock was having trouble and they didn't say. I don't think he makes mistakes. I think they might have won a couple of games. And guess what? Maybe Brock would still be playing football if he got to heal up because he was beat up. And I stand by this, and I know I'm really, really late here. I stand by this. The Monday after the opening game, I was screaming, and I did this many times. I was screaming, why the blank, I mean, screaming, would you run your quarterback against a cupcake when you're winning? Why would you run the ball? And he got hit really hard. He got beat up in the first game. You can get beat up in a cupcake. It's not like, Alabama was tough and they really hurt. And well, that's true too. But, the other team lifts weights. And he got beat up in that first game. And matter of fact, it was interesting. Bush Hamden admitted his mistake the other day in media day. He admitted that he shouldn't have run Brock so much. I am screaming. So this stuff, when you say, you didn't play the game, you don't know, it makes me want to put a pie in somebody's face. I immediately said, nobody else in the media was saying it. No coach was saying it. They ran that kid when they shouldn't have run him, and he got beat up so bad, and then one thing with another. So that was the coaching staff's fault. But I really believe if they put him in, I don't remember which game 4 or 5, early on, before you would put Cutler on, he might have massaged a couple of wins. Why you let Brock heal up? And if he healed up all the way, he might still be here. He might feel differently about it. He was beat the crap, and he played probably when he shouldn't have played. You responded, and then we go, huh?
We would have beat Vandy and Auburn.
Okay, so guess what? You're in a bowl game.
We would have beaten Vandy and Auburn.
No, wait a second. If you beat Vandy and Auburn, the team is not quitting against Louisville.
Exactly. That's the point. And I will tell you something. Go look back at that Texas game. We were in that Texas game too. And if Bo Allen plays in that Texas game in front of Cutler instead of BV, I agree. Anthony and I are big Bo Allen fans. I think Bo Allen should have had a better career. I wish he would have went to Tarleton State first because he wasted his first 2 years here. And unfortunately, that's what happened. But I think that kid can play. And unfortunately, we will never see him play.
Bless you, brother. Give a great plug for what you guys do.
Anthony White, myself, the Locker 411, every Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a hoop. I promise you, you're going to have fun listening.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you like crazy, and I'm sorry Anthony didn't get in the Hall of Fame again, and I'm going to keep on pushing him.
Oh, he's going to get there sooner or later.
Sooner or later.
Dead body.
You have to end on that. One of these days, I want to eat real Cajun food with you.
All right.
We need to do that. And then
I'm going to have to bring it up.
Okay. And then you'll watch me sweat like crazy and stuff like that. You'll enjoy the heck out of it. And then I'll just leave it. I'll read the encyclopedia the next day. That's enough. Hey, bless you, man. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it.
It's interesting. We talked about all kinds of stuff that neither one of us knew we'd do, and it was a lovely conversation, wasn't it?
Always man, a blast.
Have a ton of respect for you. And by the way, you, like a bunch of guys who are regulars, have a big key of more and more people listening. So thank you,
man.
Thank you for your help. It's interesting how this thing is growing.
Anytime you need me, I'll be here.
Thanks. Van Hiles, dude's great. The dude is great. That stuff with Bo Allen and what to do with players and stuff like that. Shawnee's really, really, really good. So is Blue Lotus Health. They are really, really, really good. Now also providing a licensed massage therapist, but Blue Lotus Health. Acupuncture, 859-533-0914. Acupuncture, 859-533-0914. Ramon has helped me tremendously. Please use my name. Please consider helping yourself even more. Trust me, he's worth it. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
It's summertime, and that means it's time to hit the road. Whether you're heading across town or across the state, going on a picnic, to a baseball game, or driving to the lake, stop by, fill up, and stock up at Clark's Pump and Shop, your road trip headquarters.
Clark's Pump and Shop has everything you need to get you to your summertime destination, including assorted Milky Way, Snickers, or Twix share-size candy bars, 2 for $4, and Combo's 5-ounce bags, 2 for $5.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Lexington, it's time to feel the warmth and spread the love in a brand new Subaru from Quattrell Subaru. This is Alan Cutler, and you can feel good about working with the Quattrell family through your next Subaru, because not only do we get the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks, but for decades, the Quattrell family of dealerships has donated to over 50 local charities and events. So, play as hard as you work. Go where you've never been and keep it local at Quantrell Subaru. QuantrellSubaru.com.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hi, this is Patrick DiGiacomo, and this is why I would recommend Republic Bank. So, when the bank manager brought me over just to show me how their ITM works, he hit this button where an actual live person came on the screen, and she was so kind and helpful, and it just made me feel like, wow, I'm not dealing with just a machine, I'm dealing with somebody that's actually paying attention to what I'm doing, and it made me feel really good.
And that's how Republic Bank helps their customers go from living to thriving. Learn more at republicbank.com. Member FDIC.
W223CV Lexington. ESPN Sports Radio 1392.5. WLXG Lexington. And LM Communications Broadcasting Station. The only no-filter sports show in Kentucky. It's the Alan Cutler Show with award-winning TV sportscaster Alan Cutler.
Welcome back. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM. Haven't talked to this gentleman in a long time. It sounds like he's working on his golf game, and I hope it's going very well. Jonathan Davis, former center forward, backup for Kentucky under Pitino, big-time finance guy with his own company for decades, very, 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 very successful, is kind enough to join us. Jonathan, how's your summer going, pal?
So far, so good, man. So far, so good. How about yourself?
Well, I can see now, so my vision's getting better. Good. I don't know if you know about it, but I was blind for over a month in my right eye, and I've got probably over 70% back.
Wow, I can't imagine.
It hasn't been fun. Sleeping is an adventure because of how you can't sleep. But you know what? Knock on wood, lucky and blessed. things won't exactly ever be the same, but I'm very, very lucky and blessed.
Amen. Amen to that.
So you have a tie, Mr. Davis, which was interesting when you shared it with me. It was one of those things where you go, in life there are coincidences and people know people and kind of stuff like that. So you sent me a really nice picture. You and Cam Williams. Explain your ties. This is really good stuff.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, just like a lot of UK fans, I mean, one of our big, laments is that we don't have ties to the kids over there. I mean, they come in, and if they're really good, they're going to be here for a year or two and they're gone. And never really have a chance to connect, get to know them as people. But I found out just through pure happenstance, I had a friend of mine that I grew up with back home in Pensacola. He actually was 2 years behind me. Our parents went to school together. Our parents played ball in college together at Alabama State. Daryl McCorvey, the son, who's my friend, he played football at LSU. While at LSU, he went to LSU Law School after he got done playing, and he met Cam Williams' father. They became very close friends, stayed in contact. And when Cam signed to come to Kentucky, Daryl, the attorney, called me and says, "Hey, you know what? I've got a friend whose kid is going to be up your way. You guys probably should meet for a couple different reasons. The kid's pretty good. Might get a chance to make some money one day." And but I said, "You know what? Forget the money part. I just want to, I'd be happy just to meet him." And when they came, we dropped Cam off a month or so ago. His dad and I, our plan was to just have a brief lunch, shake hands, and kind of go on our way. But as it turns out, we hit it off, and we spent the whole weekend together, just laughing, catching up, telling stories on our buddy Daryl. Like I said, I'd never met Cam's father until they brought his son here, but I'd known Daryl since we were kids. So pretty cool little story.
And now you have a new friend.
I have a new friend.
Plus, if Cam needs to have a meal or just wants to get away from campus, I don't care who you are. When you're that far away from home, it's nice to have a friend.
Absolutely.
Take him out for a steak and how you doing and that kind of stuff, because whatever he's going through, you understand.
It makes a big difference having someone on your side that's kind of been there and done that. More importantly, just an ear. Even if I don't understand what he's doing, having someone you can connect with that just says, "Hey, you know what? You can come over here, get away from the hustle and bustle, just watch TV and veg out." Totally cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. So now, since you're amazingly biased,
I am now.
Okay.
He's my favorite player, number 3 all the way, baby.
You're starting to get over your shyness as you are kind enough to do this show more and more. Okay, so attempt to be objective on his skills, and is his shooting as good as we hear?
His shooting's fantastic. But more importantly, I'm going to be objective on this. Before I even set foot into the practice area, let me back up. I went to practice Wednesday for the first time. I normally try to avoid early practices because I want to see it unfold after they've got to know each other and they gelled, and after Christmas. That's my favorite time of year. But long story short, I went Wednesday because I knew that you and I would be talking today. So I played golf with Jack Gibbons Monday morning, and I asked them when's practice, because they practice at weird times. Like they're going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock in the morning, I was over there Wednesday. Before I even set foot in practice, I asked the coach, just give it to me straight. How's the kid doing? And they told me that he's better on defense than they thought. So if you got a shooter who plays defense, you got something to work with there.
Nice.
He's got quick feet, great instincts. He plays aggressively. I'm not saying he's going to start, but they're so loaded, they're so talented. He's going to have a hard time figuring out how to put 10 kids on the court. He's going to play a lot of kids.
How are you going to keep all these kids happy?
I know that's a great question. But I'll tell you this too. When I was at practice, something that I thought was interesting and that I was pleasantly surprised about is that, even though you've got 10 kids that all could start someplace else, he keeps them all engaged the entire time. Hard to do with 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
Whoa.
They're all engaged.
That's really big. How do you keep 10 kids all with legitimate major college talent? Basically, all of them. I could see all those guys from nowhere, whatever. He might not play in the NBA, but he might play pro ball somewhere, making a hell of a living.
They're all pros somewhere, all of them.
All of them. And so how do you keep all those kids engaged? That's not an easy thing to do.
Man, it's not. I mean, I was so impressed with the way they run practices. Practices are run very corporately as opposed to autocratically. What I mean by that is not just the coach with a whistle yelling and screaming. If you didn't know who the coach was, you wouldn't know who the coach was. I mean, everything was.
No.
No.
Come on now.
Hear me out. Hear me out. It was amazing to watch, Alan. They were communicating with each other. The coaches talk to the players. The players can stop practice and ask the coach a question. I mean, I've never seen anything like in my entire life. I played for Patino. It was a one-way street. Even other coaches didn't talk when Patino coached. When Patino coached, you only heard his voice and his voice alone, unless he specifically told an assistant coach, "Okay, you got 30 seconds or 2 minutes, go." But players never talked in practice, other than chattering on defense. But we never talked or communicated with the coaches. But here, if a kid makes this is what was cool. If they caught a kid making a mistake, or a kid did something that was, not what they wanted him to do, they would stop practice. Nobody yelled at them. They would ask the kid, "Okay, now what were you supposed to do?" This is crazy, Alan. This is absolutely insane. The kid would give 3 to 5 bullet points on where it was supposed to be at. Every last one of them. I saw multiple players do it. Not just hang their head or say something asinine. They actually knew exactly what they're supposed to do, even when they made a mistake. So if you got kids that are that, I guess, on it intellectually and actually thinking basketball instead of just playing basketball, you got something. And I think that's one of their keys of keeping kids engaged. They're thinking about stuff. They're in their heads, and they're communicating with them both ways, and not making kids feel, down on themselves and making a mistake. It was very, very interesting to watch.
What a line. On it intellectually.
Yeah.
That's a very sophisticated line. Well, I'm not surprised it's coming from you. That's more you than me. I can't use words like that.
Oh, don't downplay it. Don't.
So, seriously, can you imagine if for some reason, whether it was you or Richie or Sean, would have started talking to Patino during practice, how ballistic on a scale of 1 to 10 would he have gone?
His head would have exploded. First, it would have turned around like the girl in The Exorcist. It would have turned around 2 or 3 times, and then boof.
Don't you wish you did it now? Because,
This is the kind of coach I wish I could have played for. Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to Patino, any coach I played for. Well, the world was different then. Back then,
sure.
I mean, coach meant guy with the whistle, was all the yelling, all the talking, and the players stood there silently and nodded their heads. That was just the way that it was back then. You didn't talk to the coach during practice at all. As a matter of fact, they told you, "Don't talk to me. Do not talk to me at all. Don't talk."
They told you?
Oh, Rick Pitino more than once before practice said, nobody say anything but me. Even the other coaches were not allowed to talk in practice. Only he talked in practice.
Even Obi, Jim O'Brien, who
nobody
was so
got to talk. Again, you had to get permission. If you got permission from Rick, and Rick said you can talk, then you could talk. It was a one-way street, buddy.
Okay, I believe you. So that's not where I'm coming from. I'm having trouble visualizing, and pick a player. I don't care who it is, whether it's, Williams, Owe, that'll make a difference. Stopping practice and saying, "Hey, coach, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah, they communicate.
So when you saw it the first time, how big did your eyes get?
First, I thought it was an aberration. First, I thought, well, that one kid maybe has a special relationship, or they let him talk. But no, it's part of their MO is that kids get to communicate with the coach while stuff's happening. Like a kid can stop what's going on and ask for clarification. A coach might ask a kid for clarification. And again, like I said, the kids aren't rambling random stuff. The kids are giving, like in a corporate boardroom setting, the kids are giving 3 to 5 bullet points on what he did wrong and what he should have done or what he should do going forward. It was a very interesting concept. I know, mind blown, right? I'm surprised no one else has commented on this or noticed this because it's not normal, trust me, but it's working.
Now, Jonathan, you've known me a long time, right?
Yeah.
How often have you been able to get me speechless?
I've never seen you sit back in your chair and be silent. Never.
You know who's jealous right now?
I'm super jealous.
Well, so is my wife. Wow. Okay. And I don't mean this with any disrespect. I promise you. Because I really thought the kids last year did a hell of a job. And I will always say, if they were healthy, like if a shoulder was healthy, if a foot didn't break, if Risk didn't have a problem, I'm not saying they won a national championship, but I'm saying they would have actually, as good as they were, would have been much better. And I think that's going to be overlooked part. Oh, these guys that he just put together, they got to the Sweet 16. That's really good. Please stop it. They would have shot better percentage of threes if Kriisa was still there, and he could push it up because they would have had more open threes.
Right.
And as you know, once you get a little momentum, sometimes that helps another three down the road.
Absolutely.
And how much better if Butler had two shoulders, for crying out loud? And
Jackson Robinson didn't play.
Jackson Robinson had just come off the best sequence of 5 games
He sure did.
of the season.
Playing phenomenal. The best player at that point. He didn't even play. We saw Sweet 16.
I wouldn't have been shocked if they made the Final Four. Not predicting it, but I'm saying just to say, well, they did a good job for the first year. So with all that buildup, because I want to make sure everybody in the audience knows that I'm not being disrespectful to those kids, because what they did was spectacular.
Absolutely.
How much better is this group that you've seen athletically? And athletically isn't everything, but how much better is it athletically than last year?
I'm going to take something that you said as a slip. I'm going to roll with that. And what you said was that athletically it's not everything, and it's not, because we have had more talented teams under the previous regime. We had a system previously that was set up and designed to just attract talent. And in my opinion, it was not designed to produce a championship result here at the University of Kentucky. And that's what we're all about. So having said all that, athletically, this team this year runs circles around last year's team. And again, no disrespect, but top to bottom, there's just so many more kids that can make a play with their athleticism and not just shoot the ball. Better shooters last year, much more athletic, which is going to help us on defense. Having said that, I believe that, again, like I said, haven't had any in-depth conversation with him about why he does what he does, but knowing Mark's background, knowing that he's, thinks like a businessman, he has done a great job, I believe, of eliminating so many highs and lows that come with having great talent, come with having a lot of ability. And he focuses on the day-to-day stuff, the day in and day out. Because anybody who's super successful at anything, they'll tell you the secret sauce to it is not getting seduced by the highs. It's being able to push through the mundane, the everyday, being an expert at making layups, being an expert at the simple things. And I see that, just a few practices I've watched them, kind of run through their stuff. I've been very impressed with that.
With all that being said, not fair. I'm going to throw it out anyway. Can you get a taste as to how good these kids can be?
Without being a homer and without, like I said, sounding like I'm someone who's Pollyanna, he's got enough to win the whole thing. I'm not saying that they will, but they have enough. Having said that, because of the way that Mark is able to take kids and get a result that's greater than the sum of its parts, they had enough last year. We just talked about it. I mean, with like I said, Kriisa doesn't get hurt. The other point guard, doesn't have the bad shoulder issue. Jackson, I mean, we had enough to win last year. Would have been, margin for error was very low. I should say very high margin for error. But this team has a very high margin, has a margin of error that is higher than last year's team. And the reason why is because they're too deep at every position. At every position, there's nobody that you can put out there and say, oh my God, why is this guy in the game? Or there's a big drop off when the second tier kid or the second placed kid comes in the game. There's just no drop off at any position. There's some kids, I will say, that are more skilled than others, but as far as being able to go on the basketball court at a college level and compete and give us the desired result, all 10 kids can do that.
You've driven me to have an epiphany as to how Pope should coach this year. A word that's never been spoken before in the history of Kentucky basketball. Platoon,
right? That's the first thing I said. Within 10 minutes of being there, Alan, the first thing I said was, he's got to platoon these kids. He can't keep.
Did you really?
Their kids cannot keep them on the bench. You got to play the kids. You got to platoon. They're that good. It's a platoon type situation again. Yeah.
Is that a dirty 4-letter word in the Commonwealth now?
I am interested to see how he handles it.
Me too.
But he's got kids that deserve to play. Oh, the kid from the mountains. I can't call his name.
Noah.
Noah. I was impressed with his athleticism or increased athleticism over last year. Always can shoot the basketball, but he's worked on his body some. He's got his body fat. Almost the transformation is similar to what Richie Farmer had between his first and second year with Patino. He's doing some things from a physical standpoint that's going to give him a better chance to be able to play at this level. He's much more athletic than he was last year. He's not the most athletic guy on the court, but I can see the improvement. I can see the work he's put into it, and he can already shoot the basketball. My only knock on him last year was that he really didn't move very well. This year, moving much better. I was very impressed with the way he moved on the court.
So if you could have shot like him, would you play in the NBA?
Yes. He can shoot the basketball. He can shoot.
You didn't even hesitate. Yes.
Yeah.
Play the NBA.
I was an athlete that really
you
wasn't
were
a shooter.
Yeah, you were. We've talked about
basketball. This kid can shoot.
We've talked about in the past, Patino screwed you by not playing you more, and you've told the story where Patino apologized, and I always thought you got screwed even before we had this relationship. I don't want to go down the road, but I like to mention it again because we heard it the last time. It's true.
It's nice to be remembered. I had my moments, but life goes on.
So does that mean I'm smarter than Patino because I knew that back then?
I think you are. You're not the only one. I had assistant coaches on my side that would pull me aside and be like, man, I wish I could get you in the game, but coach is not going to play you. It just happens,
You know what? I'd love to do a three-way phone call with you, me, and Patino and tell
I don't know if
that.
I want to be on that call. I don't think I want to be there. I don't think I
Wait a second.
I don't want to go there.
Wait a
We
second.
made peace. He invited me. He invited me to New York last year. I went up with my fiance. We took in a game at the Garden there. Had seats right there on the floor. I mean, so we've gotten past all that.
Oh, I know you have. I know, but it would be laughter. It would be laughter.
Would it be laughter though? I mean, I mean, you've met Patino. You've met him, right? You know the guy, right? He's not a laughing type guy.
Never heard of him before.
Everything's very serious with him.
Well, no. He likes to bust everybody's chops.
He doesn't
like it if you bust him back
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
he does not like you back into a corner. He does not.
See, my thing is, my daughter has told me that one of the things she learned from me that I bust a lot of people's chops, but I take it when it's given back to me.
Yeah.
The second part, Patino missed.
No, and he's still very thin skinned. So, like I said, I don't know if I want to push that button or not.
I kind of think if he stopped dyeing his hair, he wouldn't be so thin skinned. What do you think? You want to tell him that?
This gets back to him, right? He has people everywhere.
I know. Do I look worried?
No, you don't.
As a matter of fact, I'll go one step further. I hope it gets back to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Oh, you're going to tell him? Go text him. You're not going to believe what Cutler said when we were yucking it up about you. Now, but you got to be honest, though. You can also say that you don't want to broach the topic even after all these years. You're being a little chicken, too. I've never seen you chicken. You're a very confident
not
man.
The right word.
What's the word?
Not the right word. But
okay.
Here's the thing. I live in Fayette County. He still has lots of friends and lots of people that, care about him and want to see him do well and don't want people to speak ill of him. So in order for me to continue doing business here, sometimes the best thing to do is just not say anything. Ask Bruce Pearl. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing.
Actually, that's the Michael Jordan way. And actually, I hate to admit it, but you're being smart. And two, I don't care. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
And three, I want Patino to do well. I've always wanted him to do well.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
and I think he knows that. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done my show.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. But I've never seen you so reticent. You're a very confident, smart, brilliant businessman.
Not on that topic. No, we're not gonna go. Because here's the thing, and Rick knows this. I got a lot to say, but I'm not gonna say it.
I got you.
And none of it's untrue. A lot of it's very unflattering, but I'm going to let it stay in the past for right now.
Okay.
Let it stay in the past.
That old expression, let sleeping dogs lie.
Sometimes
right?
you let sleeping dogs lie and you move on.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's move on here. 10 being the highest. After watching practice, how excited are you for the season?
I was already close to a 9. I definitely did not go down. I don't want to say 10 because that's, again, I almost sound like a homer, but I'm super excited about the mix of kids he's got and the way that he could potentially use them. And just, again, small sample size, but last year, seeing how he's able to put kids together on the court and figure out how to make 1 + 1 = 3, which is the alchemy of being a great coach, is figuring out how do I make my team produce a result bigger than what their actual abilities are. All great coaches have done it. Pitino was a master at it. He took guys that, we're the leftover guys. All the quote unquote best players left when he came here. I'm going to pump Rick up a little bit here like he needs to be boosted ego. But we all know the story. I mean, he took guys that people looked at us and said, these guys are going to win 9 games this year. And we won a lot more than 9 games. And then the next year, we won a lot more than 9 games.
I went on TV and said you'd win half your games. I swear to you, I did that. And people, I got phone calls and stuff. Are you out of your mind? You're just saying that because you're both from New York. I got a bunch of phone calls.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a master at that. And all great coaches are adept at getting the most out of their players and getting the alchemy of a result that is greater than the sum of its parts. And I think we're going to look back in a few years and see that Mark can do that as well on a consistent basis.
Last one. So there was a nice picture. You playing a little golf with Sean Woods. 1, are you a better golfer? 2, can Sean play at all? And 3, does he cheat?
Okay, am I a better golfer? I'm slightly better, but only because I play more often. Sean's still on the coaching care. I mean, he was almost hour late for our tee time because he was, he's at school. He's got kids to worry about.
Yeah.
He's a good golfer, but I'm better because I play more often than he does.
What do you shoot?
I'm not going to say on radio what he shot. I'm not going to do that. He's my friend. I'm not going to do that to him.
Did he break 100?
Yeah, he breaks 100. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he breaks 100. Most of the guys I play with, we're all, pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't cheat though, does he?
When you say cheat, he doesn't do anything egregiously out of the norm. He's not kicking balls, out of the bench. He's not doing that, But I was not holding to a very high standard because we were not playing for money. I told him that. I said, we're not playing for money. So if you want to improve your lie a bit, I'm going to turn my head and not going to hold you to it. But if we're playing for money, that ball better stay damn where it is.
Hey, we're on YouTube now, and I think people could, listening on radio or on the podcast, could feel your voice, but your facial expression with intensity was really good. Hey, man, always appreciate your time. Give a plug for your company, please.
My company is JT Davis Asset Management for all of your retirement needs. 859-608-6594.
And you've had this company for how long?
I've been in business with this. I started this business 2009.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
You lose some weight?
I have been working out. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Keep on doing it, brother. Hey,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Always appreciate your time. That story with the connection with you and Cam Williams, that's really cool. And it's really good because now, this young man now has a perfect mentor if he wants it. And everybody could use it, but you would be the perfect mentor for him just to talk to every now and then, because no matter what it is, everybody has a bad practice. Absolutely. Everybody gets a hangnail. Everybody has something. Everybody missed a shot. With all the glory and the great stuff around here, there's also that other side, and you would be the perfect person with not just the intelligence, but you live through it. You'd be a perfect guy to help out Cam, so that's great.
Alan, thank you so much for those kind of words. I appreciate it.
It's all true. Thanks, man. Have a great day.
See you, brother.
Talk to you down the road.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Sean, what a great story about Cam. His life and stuff like that and how it goes. It's really good. The coincidences of life. It's really, really special. What a lovely day again so far. Van Hiles, Jonathan Davis. Really good stuff. I have some good stuff coming up next. Interesting. What I learned about Brian's contract, which now has me have a totally different feeling. And we'll talk to Hal McCoy on it, my Hall of Fame dear friend, who I love Hal McCoy. He's scheduled on Monday, but Sean, when you hear these numbers when we come back, you're going to be impressed too. So I had said, I'm going to tease it, that if you're going to spend $16 million on a guy, I don't want a batting ninth. And by the way, I'm a big defensive guy. If you've listened to the show since we started, I talk about defense in baseball. It's tremendously underrated, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not in love, and he's a great defensive player. We all knew that. I've known it for a long, long time. Heck, his dad was a really good Yankee. Caught the last out of the World Series. So I've been a big fan of the family. But, spending $16 million and sticking him ninth, that really says something. Well, it's not $16 million. And what the Reds are paying him, I now think it's cheap. And if he gets to hit anything, this is not a good deal. It's a great deal for the Reds. We'll talk about that when we come back. Thank you, Jonathan Davis. Appreciate it. You too, Van Hiles. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
The Alan Cutler Show on ESPN 92.5 and 1300 AM and on the ESPN Lexington app. Presented by Republic Bank.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no-filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313. Lexington, it's time to feel the warmth and spread the love in a brand new Subaru from Quattrell Subaru. This is Alan Cutler, and you can feel good about working with the Quattrell family through your next Subaru because not only do we get the best in sales, service, and no gimmicks, but for decades, the Quattrell family of dealerships has donated to over 50 local charities and events. So, play as hard as you work. Go where you've never been and keep it local at Quattrell Subaru. QuattrellSubaru.com.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties. Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hi, this is Patrick DiGiacomo, and this is why I would recommend Republic Bank. So, when the bank manager brought me over just to show me how their ITM works, he hit this button where an actual live person came on the screen. And she was so kind and helpful, and it just made me feel like, wow, I'm not dealing with just a machine. I'm dealing with somebody that's actually paying attention to what I'm doing. And it made me feel really good.
And that's how Republic Bank helps their customers go from living to thriving. Learn more at republicbank.com. Member FDIC.
It's summertime, and that means it's time to hit the road. Whether you're heading across town or across the state, going on a picnic, to a baseball game, or driving to the lake, stop by, fill up, and stock up at Clark's Pump and Shop, your road trip headquarters.
Clark's Pump and Shop has everything you need to get you to your summertime destination, including assorted Jolly Rancher or Twizzler peg bags, 2 for $5, and Jacqueline's 2-ounce steak strip or extra large beef and cheese, 2 for $6.
Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel.
Discovered you're bad at sports wagering? Brad Taylor can help. The Bottom Line with Brad Taylor, presented by Circus Sports. Weekdays at 2 on ESPN 92.5 and 1300. Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
Comes down to confidence and, being smooth and being confident in yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because anything can happen when you're returning and you just can't panic, you know what I'm saying? That's when bad stuff starts to happen.
That is Kendrick Law's second soundbite of his we've played in the show, and I can't wait to see him return. Can't wait to see him return from Louisiana, as Van Hiles pointed out. Transfer from Alabama, and in the first soundbite we played, there's no question in my mind, and Van agreed, a little snippet in the soundbite that he has more of his game to showcase, which means he didn't think he was able to showcase it at Alabama. And I wonder if he got to showcase everything at Alabama, would he still be at Bama? One, would they have paid him more to stay? And two, would he not want to come, whether it was here or anyplace else? This is not a shot against Kentucky, but if you're really happy there and they're going to pay you more money because you're displaying all your wares, he might have just stayed there. Don't know that, but it's a fair question. But I can tell you this, Sean, I'm really excited to watch this kid play. And I think they've done a really good job of bringing in kids who can catch the ball. We shall see. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Can they get him the ball? Can they get him the ball? And can he do certain things? Before we get into the thing about Bryant, this picture that Gene Abel sent me is great. So Gene does a show all the time. Lucky and blessed he does a show. And he's been very modest about his pitching skills. And Sean, I don't know, about 3-4 weeks ago, somebody who he knew from high school sent me a note, and I wish I had it in front of me. I don't, about, hey, let me tell you something. Gene back in the day was a hell of a pitcher. And he's always downplayed his ability. So I said, come on, Gene, let me find out. Sean, are you ready for this? He sent me a copy of an article when he was a freshman, a lefty, prep freshman Gene Abel ends year with no hitter. How about that, Sean? Ends with a no hitter. So I will hopefully remember to use this term, Gene, next time you come on the show. You sandbagged me. Really. You end your freshman year with a no hitter. And then he said the other day he played in 4 leagues. I'm going, that's terrible. Why does it put any kid in 4 leagues? And by the time he got to UK, his arm was basically shot. He was on the JV team. Dickie Parsons, who a lot of the old timers remember was a hell of a coach for Joe B and the baseball coach as well. That's really too bad. Too bad. He doesn't have any regrets. He had a really good time. That's okay. But a no hitter. Okay. To get Brian Hayes. And so I have said, one, I was shocked, and I no filter myself that the Reds did anything because I didn't expect that they would do something, and they did a couple really nice things. So I was wrong, and I've admitted I was wrong. But two, I kind of said, I'm not sure how much I like this because, you know, one of your top 2 prospects in the minor leagues, and prospects often don't make it, is a third baseman. That's fine. And the defense sucks. It's still not good. It was awful last year. It's gotten better, but it's still not good enough. And they were horrendous at third base, as everybody knows. So now you brought in the guy. If he's not the best third baseman in baseball, he's obviously in the top 5, might be 2 or 3. And in any particular year, he could be 1. Whatever. He's a very, 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 very special third baseman. I've known that from the time he came up to the big leagues because I followed him in the minor leagues partly because of his dad. Now, according to a report I read, it's not $16 million a year. For whatever reason, he front-loaded the contract. And according to a report I read, and I will ask Hal McCoy on Monday, he's only making $7.5 million a year. Now, let me tell you something. In today's world of baseball, to be great at anything and pay only $7.5 million a year, I know this sounds silly, but that's cheap. It's cheap. I'll go one step further. I'm wondering why the hell Pittsburgh paid him. They already paid him all that money up front. He's a leader. He's a really good guy. He was brought up the right way. You want the guy in your clubhouse, all those kinds of things. His hitting has gone downhill. It's not good at all. There's no question about it. Maybe they can get him to be a better hitter, but paying him only $7.5 million to play third base, and it's a number of years on his contract, cheap. I love the trade. And I said right away when they got literal, I thought that was terrific. Thought that was absolutely terrific. You know, it's kind of funny. The guy don't throw really hard, and he gives up way too many home runs. And you say he's going to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is one of the great home run parks if you're a hitter, no question about it. But I love the move. I love the move. And it's the kind of thing, we'll see. But if he pitches well for the rest of the year, the Reds actually in their budget might be able to afford him because he doesn't throw 98. So that excites me. But, Jimmy, when I saw he's making only 7.5, I have a totally different attitude towards the trade. Totally. I love the trade now. I don't like the trade. I absolutely unequivocally love the trade. Isn't it interesting how one little thing can totally change your mind? Totally change your mind. Jimmy, give me a thumbs up when you get it on that same sheet with Kendrick Law. Clip number 3 is Hardly Gilmore. So give me a thumbs up. You got it already. So here's the deal. So what's overlooked about this kid, and I know many of you know this, but what's overlooked is the kid was like 16 years old when he showed up. Okay. Was he mature? No. Am I going to rip the kid for that? No. Do people grow up? Yes. And so it was amazing. The second he shows up, everybody saying he's oozing with talent. He's got all this and all that and whatever, but he's not very disciplined. Okay. There's a lot of kids when they show up aren't very disciplined and oftentimes get much more disciplined in the second year. But as far as talent is concerned, no one disputed it. So he leaves, goes to Nebraska, comes back. He had a couple problems, nothing big, that kind of stuff. It's all good. Comes back. And so he's a fascinating young man. Sean, I'm telling you, I'm not saying he's going to go to the NFL. I have no idea. I'm just saying he's got that kind of talent. Whether it will come to fruition, I don't know. And I like this soundbite a lot. He admits he needed to grow up. He says he needed to grow up, and he says he needed to grow up off the field. Here it is.
Off the field, a lot of things off the field, just going as a man, as an adult, just doing things the right way. And on the field, just learning more from the older guys like Jamari Macklin, Fredo, just learning from the older guys and being a sponge and just listen to everything I hear, just taking everything in.
Taking everything in. The other thing I really liked, and one of the sound bites we had the other day, can't remember if we played it or not. I think we did. Anyway, Cutter Boley said, hey, he's my guy. Okay. And Boley's a very mature person. And what is Gilmore saying? I'm hanging out with older guys and learning from them. I think he's 18 years old, Sean. I think. Whatever it is, he's still really, really, really young. And he's uber talented. And he says he loves being a Wildcat. So I'm glad he's back. I'm really curious, not the most curious of anybody on the team, but I'm really curious to see how it pans out for him. Because it's talent, and you need talent on this level. There's a second clip with him. I thought this is pretty good. Asked an obvious question, the difference in the two quarterbacks, Zach and Cutter.
Zach got a little more arm, more power to it, and like Cutler's a little more touch, but both of them athletes, like they're outstanding, like on and off the field. Just like it's something like I ain't really never seen from either quarterback. We got two quarterbacks competing for one position, so it's just like it's gonna be a good show this year.
Kind of a political answer, which you would expect, but also telling you something. And by the way, it's not like Cutter doesn't have an arm. Cutter has an arm. Zach's got an arm. You know, it's easy to tell. Just because you have an NFL arm doesn't mean you're going to play in the NFL. But I think both those kids have arms good enough to play in the NFL. I think Zach's obviously. And one of the fun parts of my job when I was hosting the Bengals Radio Network for 14 years, I would get there super early because the pregame show started an hour and a half before. And you can't get there like a half hour before with traffic and stuff like that. I'd freak out, an accident or something. Traffic going to Cincinnati is awful. So I would get there super, super early. I had a rule. I had to leave before 7:30 in the morning from Lexington. So that's how early I got up there. And oftentimes when I got up in the press box, it was really quiet and serene and beautiful. Oftentimes there was nobody on the field. Or if there was, it'd be like a punter, or it might be a field goal kicker, or it might be, and this happened a lot, you can often tell guys that weren't going to play before the official stuff came out about, who was up and who was down and stuff like that with injuries, because you would see a couple of guys maybe jogging. And the reason why, and you can get fooled a couple times, but it happened a lot. You see a guy jogging or just breaking a sweat and stuff because they weren't going to be able to play in the game because of some physical problems. So at least they wanted to get some sort of workout in to break a sweat and that kind of stuff. The other part that was really fun doing the Bengals Radio Network early on is that you could watch all the quarterbacks throw. And they're not warming up and throwing howitzers, but some of these guys' arms were unbelievable. And Sean, you're going to be surprised. The two best arms basically I've seen early on was some guy named Favre and some guy named Lorenzen. When you watch Jared throw early, now that doesn't mean they're the best quarterbacks and whatever, but Jared Lorenzen, when I watched him throw early here, and it's just unbelievable. And Favre, this is before, Favre was a star. It was just kind of like, oh my gosh. Again, it doesn't mean you're going to make it, but it was just interesting how you do it. We have time to do this. This is really good. Would you cue up Nancy Lieberman? Give me a thumbs up when you get it. So if you're under 30, you probably don't know who Nancy Lieberman is. She was a great, great, great basketball player, and tough and ferocious. And Sean, I think she's more, can't find it. Just put in the system. Nancy Lieberman was talking about Jeff Teague. Maybe he put it under Jeff Teague. Nancy Lieberman might be more no filter than me. It's a recent soundbite, Sean. Anyway, if you give me a thumbs up, thumb down, it's no big deal. So she didn't like the comment that Teague made about Caitlin Clark, and she went after Jeff Teague like crazy. It was really, really good. I mean, guys on the show were absolutely taken aback. I mean, totally taken aback. We'll do some nice tidbits between now and the end. One of the things that I wanted to talk to Van Hiles about, I think I'll do it next week. How would he do if he joined reality TV, as Randall Cobb is doing in Special Forces, the world's toughest test or something like that? I saw a list of people competing. He would have a shot at doing it. He's crazy for doing it, but I'd like to see Van Hiles do it and how he would be. Other thing came out yesterday, and I expect it to be true, and he expects it to be here, but I have this thing about foreign players. Until they show up, they're not here. That's just how I feel about it. But Yelovich said he expects to be here in 2 weeks or less. And then I don't know what kind of shape he's in. You got to give him some time for adjustment and stuff like that. I bet he's in pretty good shape. I would assume he's in pretty good shape, and then having to learn how they play at Kentucky. But if he shows up here in a couple weeks or less, that will be absolutely spectacular. Hamidou Diallo going to Spain. And there's two things about Diallo going to Spain that I like. One, he's continuing playing, but two, it's a 2-year contract. A 2-year contract. And he's playing the best league in Spain. And he's coming back from China to Spain. He averaged like 22 points a game in China. And think about it. He's had a hell of a career. And they play well in China. But if you're playing in the upper level in Spain, I don't know this, but it's an obvious guess based upon some things I know about pro ball. I could be wrong. But if you're going from China to the top league in Spain and you're getting a 2-year contract, it's probably pretty damn good. Sean has sound that bite. So this Nancy Lieberman, I mean, again, tough, one of the toughest women's players of all time, one of the greatest women's players of all time. And Jeff Teague, who was an all-star. And matter of fact, he had a much better career than Marcus did with Kentucky in the NBA. I always thought Marcus would be a much better player in the NBA. I didn't think he'd be great. I didn't think he'd be as good as his brother, but I thought he'd be better. And it really didn't work out for him. I was kind of baffled by it. I actually think he'd have been better off staying here another year, but I don't want to go on that tangent. But anyway, Nancy was a guest with a couple of former NBA players, and she had heard Jeff Teague say he wasn't ripping Caitlin Clark, but he wasn't saying that she was great. He wasn't saying she was that Caitlin Clark was that special. And Lieberman put the hammer to Jeff Teague. Here it is.
I don't agree with Jeff Teague, who I read something today said that, Caitlin Clark, well, she's just a good player. She's not a great player. Jeff.
He said that? She good, but she not that good.
I love you. You weren't a great player, okay? You were serviceable. I know you made the All-Star team one time. I'm sorry, if we're gonna be honest, I'm happy for your career.
You rolled on, Chef, my guy. But you should be. Caitlin's great.
She is great.
Sean, I love that comment. Those guys were taking it back. Talk. Yeah, first of all, I actually think Jeff Teague was more than serviceable. And I actually believe that, I don't know Nancy Lee, but I actually think she thinks that Jeff Teague was more than serviceable. Jeff Teague wasn't a great player. He was a starting guard in the NBA for a long time, made a lot of money. He was a really good player. He made the All-Star team one time. He was what I would consider like a step down of a quasi All-Star. But, I mean, had a hell of a career. But but the way she ripped him and stuff, and okay, so you can't see her face, but you could feel her intensity, Sean, can't you? That she just was boom, boom.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's really good. Sean, thanks for filling in. We had a fun week. Special thanks to Sean filling in. Jimmy's at the dentist. I hope nothing got pulled. I hope he's okay. Matthew and Jimmy will be back on Monday. I'll be back at noon. Brad Taylor coming up next. Thank you for everyone for listening. Thank you for everyone who's filled out a rating book. This thing continues to grow thanks to you. And I always say, please tell a friend. You all are spreading the word, and I keep on getting feedback. Hey, I didn't know about the show. I found out about it, like it, and I've told a friend. I keep on getting that, and I can't say thank you enough. Can't say thank you enough. Have yourself a blessed weekend. Count your blessings. Count your blessings. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM. Thanks, Sean. 92.5 FM.
It's summertime. And
let me see what I got on Monday, dude. Give me a second.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I just need a second. Oh, only one for Monday so far. So let me do it this way. 3, 2, 1. Hi, this is Alan Cutler at 1300 AM and 92.5 FM, Monday through Friday, 12 to 2. Talking baseball with one of the all-time greats. I love this man, the Hall of Famer, Hal McCoy. See you Monday at noon.
All
Hey,
right,
Sean, we can play the Talking Baseball song, can't we? There's no rights again. I mean, if I wanted to use it as an intro going into Hal.
Yeah, I think you probably could.
I'm going to ask, will it be tough for Jimmy to find on Monday on a note?
Probably not.
It just hit me that we should use that all the time going into Hal.
Yeah, I think it should be fine.
Okay. Hey, man, have a great weekend.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
See you, dude.